guys, this is Taylor and I'm here today with another book haul from the Book Barn in Niantic, Connecticut. I think on this trip, the Book Barn really solidified itself as my favorite bookshop. It's such a unique experience because the main location is kind of set up like a little village. Like there's gardens and animals and several sheds and barns, and on top of that, the selection and all of the treasures that you end up finding are kind of unbeatable, as I think you'll kind of see in this haul. I would consider it a modest haul for me. I think I ended up with 8 books, but I am so happy with each and every one of them. And also I went a little crazy the first time that I went to the Book Barn, so I think I went in this time making an honest effort to not completely destroy my wallet. So the first book that I have to talk about today is The Great Glass Sea by Josh Weil. I think this is kind of a dystopian, or at least alternate future type of book set in Russia. We follow twin boys who are working in a giant futuristic greenhouse. They end up going their separate ways while working there, and I guess they end up with completely opposing ideologies. This book doesn't have great ratings, honestly, but the premise is so intriguing to me that I'm excited to give it a shot. The next book I have to show you, and I cannot believe that I found a copy of this, is The Island of Sea Women by Lisa C. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year, and at the time that I went to the Book Barn, I was reading a library copy of this, and I get to the Book Barn and there's this perfect, like, untouched looking arc on the shelves like a couple of days after it came out on March 5th. I've talked about this one a couple of times now. This is historical fiction set on the Korean island of Jeju. We follow one woman who is part of a all-female diving collective on the island, and she recounts her life and one very important female friendship. I also picked up Isms, Understanding Art by Stephen Little. I've always wanted kind of a quick and dirty guide to different art movements, nothing too detailed, and that is exactly what this is. You get a spread for each art movement as they appeared chronologically, and it's just a nice little kind of pocket guide, even though it's twice the size, 3 times the size of something that could actually fit in my pocket. But it just seems to get everything out in a very linear, easy to understand way. Next up I have Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. This is really a modern classic of YA, I think. Pretty much everyone has read this, but I really picked this one up on the recommendation of Amanda Center. I had all of these preconceived notions about this book, but Amanda really dispelled them and made me really want to pick this up. This is about a girl who called the cops on a high school party and is now the most hated girl in school, but she also seems to be repressing the fact that she was sexually assaulted at this party. Amanda has said that this book is very good, surprisingly funny, and ultimately really important. So I spent a lot of time thinking that I wasn't ever gonna read this book, but now I'm excited to own a copy. My next book is another ARC, one of many that I actually saw there. This is Self-Portrait with Boy by Rachel Lyon. This one is a debut with a super intriguing premise. Our main character is a young photographer who is trying to get her career off the ground. She is taking a self-portrait when she accidentally captures the death of her neighbor's son as he falls past the window behind her, and she is left questioning whether or not she could possibly capitalize off this photograph. It sounds a little nuts, and I will say that I read the first page of this and I did not like the writing style, but hopefully, you know, the plot and other things will kind of make up for it. My next book is Nada by Carmen Laforet. This one I heard about from Sabrina, A Managed Mischief. I think she read part of this for a try a chapter tag and ended up really liking it and just made it sound really great. This is a modern classic translated from Spanish, and I think it's semi-autobiographical about an orphaned woman who is leaving her hometown to attend university in Barcelona, which at this point has been really devastated by the Spanish Civil War. And my last 2 novels for today are really pretty similar. I didn't even realize until I was prepping for this video, and I was like, oh, that's like the same thing. But the first one is The Expatriates by Janice Y.K. Lee. This is about a group of Americans living in a small foreigner area in Hong Kong, and I think we see each of their lives and stories individually and eventually how they all kind of interweave. I picked this one up because I've always been kind of fascinated by foreigner areas in other countries. I think that's such an interesting concept, and I've never really read about it, I don't think. And also, I've never heard about this one, so I'm excited to give it a shot. And the twin to that book is What We Were Promised by Lucy Chan. This one is another debut about a Chinese-American family who have struck it rich in the US and have now moved back to a super elite, mostly American neighborhood in Shanghai. I guess a family heirloom goes missing, and of course this sends ripples through the family and digs up a bunch of family secrets. I've been dying to read this one, and I'm also egged on by the fact that this is probably one of the prettiest books that I own, I feel like. If you want me to read your book, put a skyline on the cover, and it's a done deal. So that was my haul from the Book Barn. It was such a fun trip, and I'm so glad that I got to go back. Let me know if you have any opinions on what I should be picking up first, or any other opinions on these books. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!